In this video, I'm going to show you how to make Chen's red envelope. There are many things I like about this particular design, one of which is that it is easily made out of just about any piece of paper that you have, and you can adjust it easily to fit whatever it is you want to put in it. One nice thing is that from standard 8.5 by 11 size sheet of paper, you can easily make a money envelope. But again, you can adjust the size of it to fit whatever you want. The rough dimensions of the final model are 1/3 of the width and 2/3 or less of the height. The height is very adjustable. The model will always be 1/3 of the width of the paper, because the first thing you're going to do is fold it into thirds. So that's what we're going to do. So we're going to take the paper and we're going to fold them into thirds, and we're going to do that using a very standard S-fold method, or you can just measure it. But the S-fold method is where you make an S out of the paper and slowly work each edge until you have 3 equal parts. Now, in this particular model, it actually would be helpful if it's not, if you have one of the legs just a little bit longer, but you can worry about that once you've done it once or twice, and you can figure out where that's important. I'll show you at the end where that's important, but for now, just go ahead and put it in thirds. Turn it over and fold on your first pinch mark, and it should reach your other pinch mark if you did indeed fold it into thirds. Of course, you want to make sure that all your edges line up, and then go ahead and open it up, and then fold this edge to this edge. Theoretically, that will be right along this crease that you made, this pinch mark that you made. Let's go ahead and fold that. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to fold the top down on about the third, about a third. This is very to your taste. It really doesn't have to be exact, so what I do is I usually just kind of mark like this and figure out about a third. Again, it doesn't need to be precise at all, so a third is really just a suggestion. You can adjust that to your taste as you have made this one or two times and see how it affects the final product. This model really has mostly what's called rat folds right about there. There aren't a lot of landmarks, you just kind of go for it. The instructions that Chen has do give some very specific landmarks for a general model. I'm going to show you how to make it to fit a US dollar currency almost exactly. It's really nice out of an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. So once we have folded this on approximately the third, we're going to take this edge here and fold it up to here to give us a guide crease for the next move. Alright, so now that we've put in that crease, what we're going to do is we're going to flip the paper over, and we're going to take this crease here and we're going to fold it to the crease that we just made right here, putting a new crease right in the center. Folding up. Now, whenever I do that, I always like to open the paper up and make sure I actually crease the page and not just try and crease it through the paper. And then what we're going to do is measure the length of our model. And in this case, I'm going to be showing you how to do it for a dollar bill, a US currency. So I lay it on the page, giving myself a little bit of extra room at the top and at the bottom. You don't want to make it exactly the size of whatever you're putting in, because then it makes it really difficult to actually get it in the envelope once you're done. So I find a mark just a little bit below what it is that I'm putting in the envelope. Put my thumb there, fold up to there, the thumb, and then what I do is make sure that these edges line up. I sort of twist the paper, make sure this edge lines up. You can even use the creases, if you can see them, to help you keep the model straight. Go ahead and remove that. And just like we did for the top, we're going to take this edge to the folded edge to put a halfway crease so that we can turn the paper over, take this crease, and we're going to fold it to this crease, putting a new crease in the center between those two creases. So go ahead and make that fold, giving this a really nice crease. So this model is very simple in concept, which is one of the nice things about this model, is that it uses just a couple of pleats and it makes a really nice looking envelope. It makes it highly adjustable. Once you understand these concepts, you can start making your own types of envelopes, folding, using the pleats to lock things in. Anyways, you'll see what I mean. Okay, now that we have that done, what we're going to do is find the top of the model, which is, when you're looking at the pattern, it's the crease, the pleat going underneath. Let's see how this pleat comes up top. So this is the bottom of the model. And you're just going to fold from this point right here to the crease, the third crease that we had right here, like this. And then we have a nice flap like that, and that's just going to tuck underneath like that. Now, depending upon how where exactly you put your pleat here, this corner may not tuck underneath, and it's okay to go ahead and just fold that if you need to. The way I folded it at this point, it doesn't look like I need to do that, but if you need to do that, that's fine. It won't show up. And then of course you're going to do the same thing on this side, finding this point here to anchor that corner, finding your third crease right here, using that as a guide, and then go ahead and tuck that under. And you're going to flip this over, and then this is where, if your thirds aren't exactly, your initial third fold wasn't exactly precise, it might actually come in handy. And so what you can do is kind of look and see which side you want to fold over first, by seeing if one side doesn't quite reach. And it looks like this side for me is just a little bit shorter. So that's the one I'm going to fold in first, because this one will fold in over it, and it collapses very nicely. Now this next part is really the only tricky part in the model. We're going to tuck this pleat underneath this pleat here. It's actually the same pleat wrapped around, so we're going to tuck this under here. And this is where, if you use a thinner paper, it really helps. If you use a thicker cardstock type, this gets a little tricky, but you can do it. And we're going to do the exact same thing on the bottom here. We're going to take this pleat and tuck it under this pleat here. This can be a little tricky once you've kind of done it once or twice. You can figure out how to get your paper to do what you want it to do, depending upon how thick your paper is. Will determine the difficulty level, or if it's, you know, very it's got a lot of friction, it's very rough, it'll be difficult. If it's got kind of a waxy surface to it, it'll slide in nice and easily. Okay, and now what we're going to do is we're going to take this bottom part here, because right now it's open all the way through, and that's really not the best way to hold anything. So we're going to just fold the bottom up. It'll be natural, there'll be a lot of paper right here, and so it'll naturally want to fold there. Go ahead and fold that up. You'll be able to feel that easily. And then what you're going to do is you're going to wrap this into this pocket. Now, an easy way to do that is to fold this down just above this pocket. So you don't want to see that edge. You want to just fold it down until it's just above this line of the pocket. And then when you open it up, just go ahead and invert this fold, the fold that you just made. You're going to invert that, and you can check it by folding it back up and making sure that this edge just covers this edge. And mine just does, so that's good. And then to make it easy on me, what I like to do is you'll have just created a crease right here, is I just fold a little bit of a corner in like this, and a little bit of a corner in like this, just using this crease that we made as a guideline, because we're going to fold it up and tuck it into this pocket, and by making these folds here, it makes it a little easier to tuck into the pocket. And go ahead and give your model a nice flattening, and you will see that we have a very nice, snug money envelope. And again, you can adjust the size for anything. If you have tickets, if you have a nice handwritten letter that you want to give to somebody. I use many different types of paper. Here's a really nice marbled paper that I really like. Again, made out of 8.5 by 11 size and folded to fit money. I used a very thin tissue paper. You can see through it. It's also a nice design. One of my other favorite pieces of paper to use is this waxy wave paper from Japan. It's a little bit more difficult to make this because the wax makes the paper very thick, and it's a little hard to tuck in the pleats, and it's a little difficult to make this, but it makes a really nice looking envelope. Anyway, so you can use just about any size piece of paper to make an envelope, depending upon what you want to put in it, and you can customize it to anything that you want to put in it. So it's a very nice model, very quick and easy to make, so I hope you have fun with it.